Maybe you're dating somebody and things seem to be progressing. In fact, perhaps everything seems to be going quite well, and your hopes are high, thinking that the future looks bright. But all of a sudden, seemingly out of the blue, they stop responding to you. And it's radio silence. You are not getting text messages back, no returned phone calls, and no following through on any pre existing plans that you had. This can be an extremely painful experience for people, particularly when their heartstrings of romance are intertwined and when there's no certainty, no clear reason as to why this happened, and not even knowing what you can do or what you did wrong. Well, if this is your experience, in today's video, I'm going to cover how a secure person handles ghosting. And my hope for you is that you can walk away from this video and experience having a deep sense of certainty and understanding about what's taking place, but also knowing what you can do and how to handle the situation so you don't have to feel down in the dumps for a very long period of time. And you also don't have to take this experience so personally. So, first and foremost, I think we can agree that being ghosted in a romantic relationship sucks. It's not a fun thing for anybody to experience. And again, like I mentioned earlier, that uncertainty can really eat at you. So, here's what a securely attached person does. Number one, they realize that this experience is not their fault. A healthy person in a romantic situation, even if you're not in a committed relationship, would make the effort to say, hey, this isn't working out, and to at least share why. A securely attached person, because they would do that, they know and understand that about other people. So, irrespective of whatever reason is there, what they don't do, number two, is make the person ghosting mean something awful about them. This is something that all of our minds do when we have uncertainty. As a means of trying to gain certainty, we give painful situations meaning. But here's the kicker: the meaning that you give to being ghosted probably is not objective. In fact, it is probably subjective. And what I mean by this is that it comes from previous experiences. For example, if you were ghosted, but you had a childhood where you often felt abandoned or like you weren't good enough, guess what meaning your mind is going to go to when you're ghosted? It's going to say, I'm always going to be abandoned like this, or it's because I'm not good enough that this happened. And this is a tremendous injustice because in the moment that you give this situation meaning, you make somebody else's actions define your character and what you're worthy of in relationships. And this is not accurate. It is not objective. The main reason statistically that most people report ghosting is number one, burnout, number two, fear of conflict, number three, fear of vulnerability, number four, not knowing what they want, or number five, being in a situation where they didn't really know how to handle the discussion for a progression of a relationship or didn't feel like the relationship was far enough along to have that discussion either way. So, in other words, none of those five reasons had to do with you, the person who was ghosted. And so it's a tremendous injustice to make this situation outside of you mean something about you, your character, who you are as a person, when that's just not the case. So I want to ask you a really important question here. And it's the moment you did get ghosted and it started to sink in, what did you make it mean about you? What were the painful stories that you did tell? And I'll share some really common ones that come up for people on the receiving end of this experience. I'm unworthy. I'm undeserving of love. I'm going to be alone forever. I'm not good enough. I'm not important. I don't matter. I'm unlovable. I'm disliked. And I want you to try to notice what comes up for you in particular. And I want you to write this out here. I'm going to take you through this exercise together. Try to write it out, or even if you're not, in front of a pen and paper or don't have something handy or you're driving while listening to this, for example, I want you to try to just hold that story in your mind. What are the thoughts that you had after this ghosting experience happened? Sometimes, too, people will say, if only I did this one thing differently, I wouldn't be ghosted, as in they take all the responsibility for the ghosting situation unilaterally, as if it's only theirs. And then what I want you to do, once you've had this sort of story that you can really get clear on in your mind, is I want you to ask yourself, can I 100% know that this is the reason that I was ghosted? Can I 100% know it's because I am not good enough, or because I don't matter, or because I am unlovable? And could it be something other than this? And I want you to give yourself the opportunity, the permission to just look. What could the other reasons be that I was ghosted? Could it be that this person is emotionally unavailable, that they're afraid to be in a relationship, that they don't know how to be vulnerable, or that they don't know how to communicate about something that wasn't going right in the relationship, and just leave abruptly at the first sign of something not going the way they expected? Could it be something other than you? And the more pieces of ideas or evidence you have as to why somebody might have ghosted that had nothing to do with you, the more free you're going to feel. And I want to take this one step further. I want to encourage you to ask yourself one other question. Is it possible that I still am, in fact, good enough or lovable or whatever the opposite was of that original story or thought process you had? That I can be important to somebody, that I am worthy of love, that I will find connection in the future. And I want you to look for any reasons why that is actually a possibility, instead of just attaching to that original painful narrative that you told yourself. And my hope for you is that this helps you start to depersonalize the ghosting experience, not make it about you, not add insult to injury when something is already so difficult. By the way, if you want to do a deeper dive into attachment styles, relationships, core wounds, and needs, you can get my book, Learning Love, on Amazon right now. It provides everything you need to know about why you act the way that you do in relationships, where your core wounds come from, and how to actually move through them, and how you can find and maintain a thriving romantic connection that will bring you true happiness by becoming securely attached. All of the empowered relationships you have in your external world come from a healthy, secure relationship to yourself first. And I'll teach you how to get there. The link to Learning Love is in the description just down below. Now, a secure person beyond this, not only do they not take this experience personally, but they also take the lesson away from this experience. And here's what this lesson is. The lesson is to vet more deeply in the future. You see, when you start dating somebody, your goal or job is not to just people please your way into being accepted or connected. Your job is to ask hard questions to figure out if this person is a compatibility fit for you. And if you find yourself in a history or series of relationships where you are being ghosted, of course you can't control that or everything. But I want to make sure that you are honoring yourself more deeply, that you're looking out for what you need, what's okay for you, what type of person you want to have, what your non negotiables and standards are in dating and relationships. And if you want to do a deeper dive into this topic, I have 2 courses that can support you on your journey that you can check out fully for free, just for a limited time though. One is how to master the dating stage of relationships. That helps you understand your boundaries, your standards, your non-negotiables, how to really connect with somebody, but in a way where you're not abandoning yourself in the process or people pleasing too much. And number 2, how to heal from a breakup. If you are in a position where you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I've been ghosted and this is stinging, even if you weren't in an official relationship, it doesn't mean this experience doesn't suck and doesn't sting. And the How to Heal from a Breakup course helps you step by step get the sting out of the experience so that you're left feeling maybe a little melancholy or a little nostalgic for a few weeks or a few days, even, depending on how long the relationship lasted. But it will really help you not be in a space of suffering where you can't focus, you can't show up, because the steps on this course help you not just depersonalize the experience, but there's 3 other really powerful tips and tools in there that will help you get out of the grief process of being ghosted or losing a relationship much more quickly. So again, you can check those out fully for free. I'll put the link down below. That is it for this video for today. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. I would love to have you here. I post daily videos here all about healing and relationships and really how to build the best relationships of our life. So don't miss any of them by hitting the subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.